Always learned it better with a hands-on education, so I need a private session if you get what I am saying. And they say that she's not easy, no, she's really complicated, but that only makes it better, and it's got me so fixated. And I'm not the type to wait around, I've never hesitated, but she's got me captivated, so the game, I'm gonna play it, yeah.
Going to leave one player left alive. It's Sub Rosa. He's playing low. Can Sub Rosa clutch it? And he does. What a play there from Sub Rosa. The Brimstone holds it down right on the low ground. Wow.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Championship Sunday here for the Pulse Arena Invitational in support of United Way of New York City. The Valorant action has been flowing through our veins ever since Friday, and it comes down to that. So, Alex, I go to you now. When it does come to Cloud9, when it comes to Gen.G, who are some of the individual players on both sides that would be perfectly matched against each other?
Oh, you know, good question. Because I'm looking at Win and Tens, because I think that Win, when he gets up, is going to be encountering Tens a lot. And that actually could be a little bit of a matchup that starts off right. Like they're typically going to be the ones that are getting the looks first. And then I'm also really interested to see the battle between GMD and Relics too, because GMD has kind of been that great just secondary fragging player for this team. And sometimes, you know, he's a primary, but you know, kind of like mix and matches depending on like what's going on in the matchup. And Relics is also that guy for Cloud9. This Gen.G roster, they have a lot of weapons. They are incredibly talented, and we haven't really seen this talent shine through besides the T1 Invitational, where this team actually debuted and won the tournament. And then since then, it's kind of just been a little bit of a bumpy ride for this team of Counter-Strike players, now turned Valorant pros. I think that they are out for blood. I think they want to prove that their belonging here in the final is no fluke. It wasn't Sentinels choking, but rather them forcing Sentinels to make bad decisions. And if they're able to do that against a player like Sinatra that loves playing a hyper aggro play style, and you do that against someone like Tens, maybe, just maybe, you can eke this one out. It's a possibility. It will be very hard given how consistent Tens plays across the board.
The difference, though, between Sinatra and Tens, I think, is Sinatra's a little bit more bombastic with the way that he just goes at the same thing over and over and over again. The reason why Gen.G was able to take Overbind was because that he went through hookah every single time, and they were able to switch up the setup and kind of shut him down in that regard. But Tens on Cloud9 is a different story. This guy goes everywhere. Yes, he might be bombastic in a way, but it's one way, it's the other way. All of a sudden, he's in your face with a judge. Like, it's a big different style. You're right in the fact that it's like trying to shut down those two guys, the key factors of each team, but I think this is going to be a handful for Gen.G.
Yeah, and I'm really looking at Shinobi and Vice here to be the guys that step up. Shinobi was brilliant in that last series. He was backing his teammates up multiple times. He was there to pick up the frag. I think that this is going to be an opportunity for those two players to show why they belong. And then we haven't even really talked about Mitch. And Mitch is a monster. So, you know, perhaps like we're putting so much stock into Tens here, as we should be, but the real weapon on this team is going to be Mitch. It's hard to say, but this team has evolved so much throughout the course of just 3 days. It's insanity.
And that's what makes it so exciting, right? Because the fact is Cloud9 hasn't solidified their entire roster. Would the victory tonight, would a victory during this tournament maybe help solidify that roster? I know we were trying to get it out of Relics earlier. We couldn't do it. We really did our best at being journalists. It just didn't work out. We're casters at the end of the day. But with that being said, though, this is a big round for obviously starting off on Bind, because we talk about the three maps. It's going to be Bind, Ascent, and then Split. And naturally, C9, they wanted the second map for their map pick to be Ascent. We know how dominant Cloud9 is on Ascent. In fact, they beat TSM 13-1. I don't think they've lost Ascent as of yet during this tournament, and rightly so. Even in that matchup they had early on, of course, against Together We Are Terrific, they started off on Ascent 13-7. Yeah. And, you know, one of the things about the boys of Gen.G is they weigh really heavily on their Split map. That ended up being the tiebreaker. But let's go back to Cloud9 versus Together We Are Terrific. They won that match 13-3. So I'm trying to find a weak point, and I really can't. But Bala, you did mention that aggressiveness, the bombastic plays, if you will, and specifically related that to the Sentinels matchup, right? Yeah. But I do believe Cloud9 kind of follows along suit with that aggressiveness, and Gen.G found a way to counter that. Do you think that's going to be beneficial going into Bind?
100%. I mean, they showed a little bit more than what we saw yesterday in the quarterfinals for Gen.G. So that's a good sign. But I mean, there's a lot of different factors that Gen.G are going to have to kind of overcome. Because to be honest, you said Split is one of the maps that is good for Gen.G, and you also mentioned Cloud9's favor on that one against Together We Are Terrific. To me, Cloud9 showed more than Gen.G showed on Split, and to me, their Split looked fantastic. Whereas on Gen.G's side, it maybe was like, you know, a little bit closer, obviously, but not the amount of prep and the amount of just really nice things that they were all showing off.
Hey, man, a lot of things going on, and obviously this tournament has been fantastic. It's been a great opportunity to see some young teams, some lesser-known teams, even teams without orgs kind of come up and play alongside the top dogs. We're talking about, obviously, Code 7. Together We Are Terrific. But with that being said, this tournament would not be possible without our fantastic sponsors. And obviously, we have to start off with United Way of New York City, who are doing some great things for those families out there who have been affected by COVID-19. And you can spread the word about donating to United Way of New York City. You can also learn more at unitedwaynyc.org and follow them on all social channels at United Way NYC. And let's not forget, guys, since we are getting down to the grand finals, this is your last chance to donate. 3 winners will be drawn per day as a thank you for a donation to United Way of NYC, and 1 winner will be drawn out by filling out the survey at esportsurveys.com. That's sponsored by DBD Esports. Of course, though, we also have to mention our other fantastic sponsors that did come through. Pulse Esports Gaming Arena, fantastic arena that's opening up in the heart of New York City. They're doing amazing things. You've seen the videos, and I got to say, I can't wait myself, hopefully when things clear up, to go over there. No, Alex, you're actually close, so you might get a chance before any of us to see that great space. But of course, AJX Pay, Esports Futura, All City Artists, and AKRacing all came together to put on this fantastic event. Sounds to me, at least the voice of my head is saying the match is getting validated, the agents are being selected, and that can only mean one thing. Grand Finals is about to be underway, and I can't wait to get it started. Either way, Alex, of course, with Bala, you guys take it away. Call the action for me. Let's get it started.
All right, well, thank you so much, Taylor. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be sick. Bala, we got ourselves a nasty matchup. But you know what, Taylor? You just joined us as well. It's okay, Papa. You can hang out with us for a little while. You know what I mean? Like, you all good. I'm looking forward to this matchup because Gen.G now, after that comeback that they had against Sentinels, you were talking about Ascent. I tell you what, yep. Gen.G gonna learn today. They gotta learn how to play. They gotta learn how to play Ascent fast. They were good. They or at least they not good, but sure. They were learning, I guess, on the fly against Sentinels, which they're very good at that map. Perhaps they've picked up some things there on how to shut down a very aggressive style of play that they could take against Cloud9 here, Bala.
Yeah, 100%. It's going to be pretty interesting. And we are actually waiting on a couple tech issues for that game to get started. So just so we know, that's basically what's going on. You talk about Ascent. I think of both of these teams having a really pretty decent Ascent. Sentinels, I think, might have one of the better ones in the game. So Gen.G falling in that one. I saw, the things that they learned from that definitely being applied on the defensive side. But Cloud9 also, man, they have the same tools in their kit, and they're going to use them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that ascent, I think, ended between Gen.G and Sentinels 13-8. Yeah, Gen.G lost, but that's still a solid, stat line, if you will, coming out for the boys of Gen.G. Either way, though, that ascent I still feel is going to go to Cloud9. I just want to see it go to Split. I think Split is going to be one of the most interesting maps other than Bind. I think Bind has the potential to be the closest possible one that we could see out of all the three. But without question, though, when you boys get on, it seems like 2-0s across the board. So I'm really hoping this
you brought it up, man. I was hoping you weren't going to mention it because
Caster Curse is real. Caster Curse is real.
Come on.
Wow, bro. You think you know someone.
You know what? You think you know someone, throw another curveball out there. Why haven't the caster started the game at this point?
I know, right? Well, clearly, in case you don't know, it's because we want to start our podcast. Guys, make sure you join my podcast, Resident Sleeper, Valorant Talk. It's on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It's a banger of a show. Every day, it's just me, my voice. That's all you're
waffles.
Hearing. Yeah, it's perfect. Utter perfection.
All sorts of breakfast foods on.
Yeah, we talk about cereals, we talk about sandwiches, and then some Valorant. It's like four heads but worse. So yeah, it's a great time. No, jokes aside, it seems like we're ready for the matchup. Taylor, I'm pumped.
Yeah, absolutely. I am too. I think it's going to be a fantastic grand finals, like I said before. Either way, boys, finally take it away.
Push the button.
All right. Reflections has pushed the button. The finals have begun, folks, of the Pulse Invitational. $10,000 prize pool, $6,000 going to first place. No small amount of cash there for these players playing an online competition like this. And boy, I'm excited because Cloud9 is just energized me after that game against Together We Are Terrific. Am I too hyped about C9, Bala?
There's a lot to be hyped about because both of these teams have hyped us up throughout this entire tournament. 16 teams down to these two. And we're starting things off on Bind. No, you are not overhyped for this because this should be a great grand finals. Looking at the comps, pretty similar. We're just swapping a Phoenix for a Jets. And then everything else identical on both sides. We've got the Brim for the Mollies. We've got the Sova for the Darts. But an approach towards Bathroom, which we don't often see on this attacking pistol side, but they're still scouting over towards the left side of the map. Just to start things off, make sure there's no aggression coming out.
And they're going to run right into Tens here. Who's waiting for him on the other side. I think Tens has a... Yeah, it's a shorty. It's a shorty. It ain't a phantom. It's a shorty. But here we go now. And Tens with two already. And then Vice is there to pick him up. Exactly what we were talking about before. When you have your teammates back like that, and it worked so well for Cloud9, they managed to secure themselves 3 kills out of the gate.
Still 2 players up, both of them who came down a short. They have U-Haul control, but Tens is playing the close angle again, and he's got that shorty reloaded. 2 more bullets in that barrel. And Relics on the flank, too. They've got them fully controlled. He's going to get up in this corner. A nice crossfire. One gets spotted, and he'll come around the corner and take out one. But Mitch finally trades him. Nice pistol round from C9. That was fantastic all around on all sides.
Just the Mitch going around the flank and then Relics hanging out that little cubby area on the shelf. So then Mitch backs away because, he's just trying to pull this attention. Relics is waiting for him right there. It's the trust that they are starting to have in one another. It becomes very scary when it's clicking like that.
Yeah.
And, it's just one round, so I'm not going to, jump too much on it. But, hey, the little details that you kind of have to absorb when you talk about these teams.
And I do like the pistol round approach from Gen.G, but it just went right into Tens' hand to get up on top of that box with the shorty. The idea was to do the typical 3 smoke, but come out dashing in from bathrooms rather than anything else. Now all saving, all going up the short A. And Shinobi might be able to discover them. He's going to back off with his Ares. Vice is in the site as well, but they pushed on the U-Haul with no smoke, so this is going to have to be a fight.
Yeah, and even with the Ares out, they still managed to get the kill. And as all that goes down, it's Mitch with 2. Cloud9 go up by 2 at the start here of our grand finals. Game number 1. No winner bracket rules or anything apply. This is a straight up best of 3. Whoever wants it more takes home the 6K, and so far, so good for C9.
just like every game, and just like I said, was the key for Cloud9. Starting off strong, obviously it's only 2 rounds. We'll see how this gun round unfolds, but starting off with TenZ fragging and somebody else fragging will get this team to play around each other so well. And I love even what they did with the Ares there. He was on U-Haul. It was the Sova. And then he backs off into his teammates. Vice on the site will be able to lock it down. TenZ this time, he pushed down B-Long. Last time, he's going to go with more of a standard approach as it is a gun round. Holding the site down as Vice plays in this corner. One Sova again in U-Haul.
TenZ has that Marshall to just get some pot shots in there, right? Poke out, do some damage. You can shoot that substantially faster. You're not going to do the exact same damage as you would with an op, but it's good enough, though. Watch out, though, because Shinobi, he gets caught in lamps or U-Haul, whatever you want to call it, flavor of the month. Either way, though, TenZ now outside. They're just holding on. At least he's holding on to these weapons here with the Marshall and Shorty. So looking to upgrade this one. Get that Elder Flame Vandal. Now trying to cook with fire here. Actually a cheeky one-way they look to bring up. Here comes Mitch on the flank. I don't know if they hear it. Slow Orb's actually out, but it goes through the portal. That's not going to matter, though, for Effys. Effys gets 4. Ooh. And Gen.G, when the guns are out. And they get the eco-res, too.
Maybe a little too confident from Cloud9 as they leave that site wide open as they get the smokes down on top of them. They give it up, let the spike come down and rely on the retake. Unfortunately, that's not going to work out. It's Effys with the 4K on the round, and they respond back after the pistol round and anti-eco loss. So, what's the plan now? They've gone very, very standard. 3 smokes down on the A truck. 2 rounds, 1 in pistol and 1 on the third, and then also the last one was the eco round was just straight up A shorts. 4 players gathered here again. Alex is there and he's got the orbital strike. Run it back, going to be activated and run all the way through U-Haul, but they split them up. All 3 have gotten through. Amali will keep them off of U-Haul, but they've got control.
Yeah, which means with that short A wall, they're going to be able to put this down. Mikhail's going to be outside in showers. Got a Guardian, though. Needs to be careful with that. Relics is burning. Getting a little toasty inside of lamps. Mikhail still has not pushed out yet. Player 1 going to be playing right here by Cubby. Headshot onto Shinobi. Player 1 continuing to do the business now by Cubby. Another one as well. Why don't you just keep on coming in a straight line? Seems to be working out very well for Player 1. Mitch, though, doesn't want to be left out for Cloud9. Just trying to see if he can bring his teammates back into this battle. They don't have a lot of time to work with now, Bala. Time is going to be ticking.
He's already backed off. He had the operator. TenZ will join him too. 2 back-to-back strong rounds for Gen.G on this A bomb site. Last time it was Effys with the 4K. This time, player 1 will put down 3 in an instant on that approach. And they seem to maybe found a weakness or have studied something that gives them the inkling that they want to hit A and they want to hit it hard time and time again. Maybe it's the difference for Cloud9, kind of giving it up, kind of letting them come through this without any delay. Even though they have the Cypher who was playing A, now they switch him over to B, but it is going to be low eco. 2 players will have a gun though. Mitch with the op and TenZ with the Vandal. No, sorry, Phantom.
And I think, though, that C9 responded to that one well by bringing Relics over to A site so that they could use Orbital Strike to then break off the attack. The problem was it didn't catch. They were already so far committed at that point that they couldn't get any benefit from that. Now the Orbital Strike here for Mitch, and Mitch is going to get tagged as he's making his way out of the Hellfire and Flames. TenZ has to be careful too. Cyber cages are going to be activated in front of showers. And TenZ hears him just going away. He's going to check this corner for due measure, but not find anyone. They're going to rotate to A to give him support. And look at this. Now that they've gotten everything that they wanted, they killed the op. They got another kill. They're just going to start making their way over toward B.
Yeah, this is a very, very good approach for Gen.G. They know there's 2 guns up. They've gotten 1. Now they're just going to back away. A full stack from Cloud9 on A site. There's going to be a dart thrown out as well to spots and get a little bit more information. Landing in hookah. They don't have to clear that out completely. Now they should be able to walk on site with a couple of smokes. But Cloud9 has recovered the 2 guns. They might decide to just straight up save them right away, give up the B site, and just go for the next round. But Money should be high for them.
Well, what's better than some money, Bala, is more money.
I like this. This means it's going to be tit for tat, man. This means that they're going to take everything that they can possibly take into every single round, right? You saw in a couple of other games, people kind of like throwing away a gun or whatever. But this is a good decision here. 5 still up would have been so difficult. They're still abusing this A side. Obviously, it was an eco round this time. They used the orbital strike directly on top of Mitch. Again, it seems to me that Gen.G might have done a lot of studying on how Cloud9 would play this, because it was kind of a predicted orbital strike straight onto the top of Mitch. Maybe they had information based on the Cypher or Dart or something, but regardless, it works out for them. They clean up that round, even though there was a little bit of risk based on the 2 guns that they had saved.
Gen.G have obtained the lead now, 3 straight for them. Once the guns started to come out, it's been all Gen.G thus far. Player 1 and Effie's having some great starts. Mitch, as we had previously mentioned, always going to be that third pillar, I feel, almost, for this Cloud9 team with the way that he's been playing lately. Gonna get a poke around here for the shower. A couple looks over on A, see what you can get. A 3 stack over at B on the defense. No real effective ult online, but TenZ, if the Brimstone pokes this a little bit, which probably won't happen given that they're going to drone that out. Here comes the 3 smokes. TenZ gets smoked out now, so no chance for the angle, and actually takes some shots inside of it. Not able to get the shot there. TenZ looking his best to stay alive, even through the commotion, manages to get a kill against Mikhail. No one checked inside of Lamps, though. Ice is still there. That's right. Now they know Vice is there. Common spot, obviously. GMD watching patiently to see if anyone comes through there, and we'll tap them.
Too long. Brimstone has his molly. This is taking too long. Mitch will get the res on TenZ and bait out GMD, but there's going to be a molly down on site. It's so difficult to retake from this position. They even wall it off, though.
They got blocked off now. They're just gonna have to force their way through this. Effie's, is he the hero? He's already picked up 3 kills. They're gonna stick it, and Vice is there for the pickup. Quinn went to try and stop this one out, but they will get the defuse. It was looking a little dangerous there, but they gave Cloud9 a lot of time to operate with.
I thought that was a little too slow from Cloud9, but they ended up forcing out all the utility just in the nick of time. Obviously, 2 seconds left on that defuse. And we had a couple players just barely miss out on the shots that they needed to get. They tried as hard as they could to bring the diffuser down, but it just was not quick enough.
And had GMD not been pulled in his attention to shower at that brief moment, he actually would have popped Vice instantly because he had that angle locked down, which led to him causing a sizable distraction. On 2 players stacked in showers now. They don't want to give this one to them at all.
Yeah, they're switching things up. A lot, actually. But they will get forced off. We've seen this from GMD time and time again, just pushing them off base and clearing out bathrooms. Not only orb control, but Cloud9 also switching to 2 players on A rather than the 3 that they had before. And that kind of played into their favor because they had more people for the retake, especially with the Mitch res. TenZ, though, he hears them. He knows what's coming. 2 players out of bathroom. The call is made. He goes for it. Onto GMD. Shinobi as well will add the Hunter's Fury to make them at least take a little damage and think a bit more. Vice is still stuck behind this wall, and he hasn't really been able to contribute, but time was on his side last time. We'll see if he can do it again.
All 3 of those players are going to be the opposite side of that ice wall there. Vice got a ton of audio cues, knowing that they're going to be on right in front of him at the front door. He tried to go and grab the information, but ended up getting caught tossing out his hat. Shock Dart doesn't land on any targets. Quinn has been so reliable with that off in this entire tournament. Relic's inside of Lamps, though. Still not out of this one quite yet. Mitch checking the corners. He's going to wall it off. He's going to wall it off and probably go for half. They have to go in there and try and stop him. Around the corner they go. He holds on to it. Relic's with 3 kills, keeping him in this game, and they manage to defuse it. Oh my goodness, Mitch, what a heads-up play with that wall, and he tried to get as much as he can out of it.
And that was perfectly placed to give the gap on the side that Relics would come through to defend him. Full faith in his teammates. And they clean up another one, 2 in a row now, after Gen.G had responded after the pistol round. Well done for Mitch and Relics. And I love the adjustment that they've made. I was concerned about it at first when they left only 2 on A, but Vice and Tens are doing enough. I love what Vice does too in U-Haul. They come up on the site, they do their execute, they get the smokes, but Vice does not get too aggressive. He lets them wall and just waits there just enough so that they have to pay attention to it. But also stays alive for his team. No win will get a nice entry with the Hunter's Fury, and that's difficult because Relics was trying to get control of Long.
And Relics also had Orbital Strike to slow off any attack that would have come through here. I like Shinobi's idea, but unfortunately, it was only an idea when it's hitting all the shots necessary. GMD gets in there. It maybe is going to be Mitch's turn now. Spike's right in front. Spike's in front of him. Tens is having his back. The Blaze wall. Smart play to go and get Blaze and then get that Spike out of there. Like a magic trick. Oh, GMD. GMD.
Beautiful stuff. Not only
just left him there to pick up the scraps, and he did it.
A couple of things went right for GMD in that round. That Blaze wall was obviously fantastic. Allowed him to get to the back site, which is where they were going to be able to pressure against both players in Hookah. And then Mitch and Tens really had to pay attention to both sides, get the crossfire down, and then as they grabbed the spike, got into the site, they tried to jump out, and GMD is there with a flash, perfectly timed and perfectly planned.
And also the Blaze too. The Blaze wall was it's utility for Phoenix that players do not factor in all that much. I can tell you the amount of times I see Phoenix is only using that Blaze wall to give them health back. But used in the right instances, just like that, it can be your best friend. Tens with his judge on Shower again, Bala. He loves this thing.
I've been seeing the Phoenixes be absolutely dominant with all their abilities recently. You think about Drone on TSM. At first, it was kind of just like, yeah, he was fragging. But this tournament specifically, maybe there's still a couple polishes that he needs to do on the strats. But so much innovation coming in from Phoenix players, GMD being one of those.
That one. And he got caught right outside in player 1. I mean, that's going to be easy for him each time. He only got some pistols against player 1. I'll take that battle for player 1 any day of the week. And Win in the backfield keeps on hitting those shots. Now it's just left up to Mitch. Mikhail's got the angle. He was very weak, though. Could have breathed on him and he would have died. Oh, nice shot there. This has actually become kind of doable. It's going to be the same thing as before. He brings out that orbital strike and gets out of dodge. Also being flanked around, so if he decides to bail out of this one, GMD will meet him with loving arms in the defender side. But it's Effie's with the headshot, ends the round, gives Gen.G the lead again. What a close battle we've seen between these two teams thus far, Bala.
This is neck and neck in this first half. Trading blows left and right, but Gen.G finally take the lead off the backs of Wynn's amazing operator shots. In the last 2 rounds, he's connected with at least 3 kills, and Wynn, there it is, 7 kills for him. So regardless, Gen.G's plan of approach on this map so far has been really, really nice. They've gone to A, they've switched things up, tested the waters at B, made it work, and then bring it back to A, and Cloud9 is honestly having to stay on their toes. Shinobi is now back towards A, joining Tens and Vice again. But this time, because they pulled them over, they're going into Hookah. They're starting to pressure this. They've already baited the wall out. They baited a smoke here, but they're going to stay and hold on. Relics and Mitch in a crossfire in Hookah. They still have mollies, I believe, but there's going to be a smoke at the front of Hookah. Time to clear it.
Ah, Mitch at the corner there, but it's the rival Sage from Effie's. Relics needs to be careful. He's going to burn, and he'll get shot up by GMD. This is going to prompt that rotation to come through. Shinobi, teleporter, telegraph. You ain't going to live through that one. Not with every single member. staring right at you. And now we have a rotation over to the A site. Oh yeah, indeed, Mitch. Whoops.
Oh,
okay, Vice. Let's talk about this for a minute. This has actually become pretty winnable, but Vice has gotten a bit of the intel. If he gets one more kill here, it's going to be beneficial. And he gets it. Is Vice doing this by himself? Is actually going to the TP. He's going to the TP. And Tens has a block. The time. Oh my word, Tens. What a play. He is actually a magician. He predicted that. What? That was awesome. That was all Vice. That was all Vice.
They literally controlled all the ideas that Gen.G had in that round. Vice shuts down the rotate back B to A for Gen.G. They push through the teleporter, and for whatever reason, Tens is still there. This guy might have a bug in Gen.G's ear or something. He hears the strats before they're even happening. That was fantastic stuff. And then tie it back up.
This is crazy. Like, in no world does that make any kind of sense, because I'm like, why isn't Tens there with Vice right now?
They made that round work off of something that I think, okay, hold on, there's an aggressive approach now straight through. They have to run it back. Tens is trying to hold on, playing in front of the smokes. He dashes back. None of them go down. Vice this time gonna play out of U-Haul, gets one, but not enough. As they've traded 3 players, it's now a 3 versus 2. Mitch in the back line with Relics coming, 1 in heaven and 1 in the back hall. Still even a smoke for player 1. By a little bit more time. There's a res available, but it has to get all the way across the site.
Yeah, and that will be very difficult given how many players are going to be in lamps. I don't think they could see him, though, if he does cross to get the res. But the moment that the res comes through, they're going to start pushing forward and spamming that. And they're just debating on what they want to do. Just go ahead and save for this. It doesn't make much sense. But Balla, that round was nuts. That previous round was insane. I am still not over that.
I'm not either. And I want to think about what Gen.G's perspective was in that one. Like, they had them dead to rights in hookah. I mean, they cleared it out. All 5 players were there. And then they back off. Shinobi comes to the teleporter. You called it, right? You said there's no way you're getting anything done. Shinobi instantly got taken out. And they left it up to a 2 versus 5. They split up even on the defensive side, and Gen.G still too scared on that approach. It doesn't matter, though, as they go back to what worked, tried and true, back on A, and bring themselves back in the lead and in the driving seat of this game, I guess, a little bit. Last round of the half. We'll see if Cloud9 can clap back on what they have for weapons. Shinobi with nothing.
What a matchup this has been so far. My feet did lag for a little bit there. I don't know if it's the same for you.
Yeah, my feet is lagging a little bit. I still have the backup, though.
Let's
see if you start to work up. We got 3 1-1 defaults. And this is a completely different default that we've seen from Gen.G ever. They did work up long one time, but that was pretty quick on the approach. Now a little bit more cautious, as this is the last round of the half, and such a meaningful one at that. Then with the operator, he did work magic out of this long beat. This time approaching hookah. Mitch is there, I believe, with an op of his own. Yes, this is going to be a duel that means so much.
I know that he's there, and as he actually backs out, GMD already took control of the site. Relic's inside of the can and unfortunately gets flushed. And there's GMD out freely. He's got help from his teammate Mikhail there. Headshot. They're trying to go into this one 7-5. Spike is down now. 2 players left alive. They've done it before, 2v5. I mean, so anything possible at this point. But this is a much different scenario than it was previously. Tens' real only opportunity is to just tailwind out of this potentially. Oh no, yeah, it just wasn't looking good there. And there's Gen.G. A successful attack for them, 7-5, but a close game across the board. Now we're going to switch things up, Balla. What does Cloud9 bring to the table?
I mean, an attacking side that's going to have to at least match Gen.G, which was very strong. They had the approach. They found the gaps on the A sites. They worked their magic time and time again. Starting off strong was Cloud9, but it wasn't enough to hold on to the constant pressure that was put on all this entire map by Gen.G.
Fun fact, by the way, I'm looking back at the stats and previous encounter on Bind and group play, they went into half 6-6.
Wow.
So
it was a close game on that one too, right?
Yeah, Gen.G has definitely stepped it up from before, but those are rounds that could have gone either way.
We didn't get a chance to watch that match, but it feels like, just for me, making a couple assumptions that Gen.G made some adjustments based on Cloud9, and Cloud9 did not do the same back to them. Maybe a little too confident, Gen.G.
I think they also
this
had
aggressive approach in bathrooms.
They had a war against TSM they need to be ready for, too, keep in mind.
Yeah. Things are long gone now, though. We don't think about that matchup at all. Smoke's coming out. Player one will get Vice. Woo! And Win as well will work his way back out there. And they connect for two. Now 3 players left on an open A site, but where is there to go when you're pinched between 5 players, 2 in bathrooms and 3 coming from the spawn?
And Win playing this angle. Nice and aggressive. He's actually going to get the kill with the shock arrow. Relics, though, a right click out, jumping around the corner. Tens has an angle with the Sheriff, is going to just back away from this one. Relics is also there too. That's going to be a slow and burn. Not enough to actually hurt him. At least for the moment there. Another push coming in. Now they're going to get the wall off. Tens needs to come up clutch, but it's actually going to be around the flank. He can't do anything about it because he's got that pistol. He's shooting cotton candy. And that will be another round win for Gen.G.
I really liked that play there from Gen.G to start things off inside of bathrooms and then end up falling back. They got the pinch from all sides. He made the rotation, the decision to back all the way from bathrooms up short to catch him by surprise, but the wall was down and there's no chance of recovering in that.
All right,
we'll continue to look forward. I don't know if you're ready.
Yeah, no, this game, there's been great adjustments from Gen.G. Granted, only going to be the pistols at the start here. Anti-eco, more than likely going to go for Gen.G too. It's about extracting as much as you can out of your opponents here for Cloud9. Then you can ride this momentum. Smart smoke to, just not really give him some peace of mind here. Effie's playing the off angle where they jump down. He'll have the Spectre too. If he had a Stinger, maybe he's good for like 1 or 2. Oh, I love that decision with the ice. Slow orb on the side. Tens is going to fly off the site there. What a play. Love the wall too.
No charge.
They're going to get on this site. They have control. And Tens, so long as Tens is alive, he's a problem. GMD knew that, so he needed to stop it in its tracks. Effie's gets the kill. Back elbow. Spike is down. Some more cash in the pocket for Cloud9. And, with the big boy guns here, right, or at least guns that are better than the pistols that Cloud9 will be working with, this was the best possible outcome for them, just to use as little as they can, get on the site, and get that spike down, get some cash.
Well done from Gen.G to recover a little bit from what looked like they might have a lot of space to work with. Tens working a Sheriff magic, but GMD will make quick work of that and respond with a 2-0 of their own after winning the pistol round on the defending side. The gap widens a little bit for Gen.G. A little bit more breathing room because this game was neck and neck. Finally, a lead of 4 rounds.
Right here.
Hey, Ball, you want to know something interesting about the last time Gen.G and Cloud9 played on this map last time? Right. Gen.G won the first 3 defensive rounds, too.
Oh. Maybe that's the reason why they were able to, it was only a 3-round gap in the last meeting on binds. So things are definitely looking good for them moving forward after this repeat of the map binds. They seem to have the number of Cloud9, or at least they got the strat book somehow, because every play that they make, it's completely catered to what Cloud9 is doing.
They counter-hacked TenZ's comms. Maybe that's what happened. TenZ got in, you know, and then they like watchdogs that whole thing, right? I don't know. That's the logic that I'm rolling with. Short A plant. Spike's going to go down quickly here. Smoke's in play too, just to block off Heaven, and Spike is down.
5v5 and it's down.
Yeah, actually, no picks at all. They just get onto site there. In the short A plant, that happens quite a bit. Vice lurking over in the distance by Showers. Player one, though, responds. Orbital Strike gets the kill. GMD now going to go and run it back. He's got that Spectre inside of the smoke. And look at just the craziness of shots that are actually starting to go down inside of the smoke. They're going to stick this one, and they will successfully be able to defuse it.
Missed it.
Yeah, he did not land it in time, and that will be all, or I should say 4 members still alive here for Gen.G. 10-5 Bala, they're getting really close.
I don't even think if he hit that molly, it would have been enough to keep him off, because he would have got that half and then continued from there with the ball. But he did miss it too, which kind of seems to me that Cloud9 might have misplanted for his set molly, unfortunately. 5 round now, the gap. And things might be getting ever so close to this conclusion. A closer affair for us two so far, but they're getting too excited now. Cloud9 10s will have the Marshall. He tries to fight against it. He does get the tag through the box on the Hwin, and maybe also buys some space. Hwin gonna rotate over towards Heaven, which brings down Mikhail into the site.
I never thought I would see in the battle between an op and a Marshall, the Marshall getting the better.
That second rate of fire.
Yeah,
being able to just quickly fire off the next time through the box. Something like you see in on Dust 2, you swing by the door, just shoot through the wall. That's TenZ at his finest. With the quick thinking, they've actually rotated everything off. A gamble for Gen.G, even on a gun round. It's only 1 all the way back on A, and Mikhail is here. No, the Spike's still moving over towards A. I think that might be where Cloud9 decides to settle. Although last time we saw the 5v5 retake work out in favor of Gen.G, so it might not matter after all.
Yeah, and he actually went back, Mikhail, for heals.
Yeah.
And then they're just going to keep this one there, allowing Brim to rotate to be the first point of contact to help out.
An issue with this, though, is that they might quickly go for a double through the Showers TP. And player one's all the way back there. Alex is all the way back there, though. He might be able to actually work this. Wall of smoke's down. Hwin will get Mitch. Shock darts coming in as well, and also a recon bolt most likely, and they make the full rotate in through CT spawn, so no teleport at all. This is doable for Cloud9.
Now, what was looking like a dicey situation is now a possibility for C9 and a desperate need for an attacking round win, but they don't have the guns to go up here against the might of Gen.G. Maybe TenZ with a Marshall can have some crazy shots. I've seen crazier things, but, you know, crazy ain't going to happen today, not when GMD is going to be involved. But Relic's Orbital Strike slowing things down. Mikhail, though, anxious inside of Showers. Vice gets the shot off, and another Hunter's Fury out. He's actually going for it. They're just tagging this one. He gets the kill. Oh, and he sticks it. But the defense does thrive in the end. 11-5 Gen.G. They used all of their ults to get the better of Gen.G in that round. It ended up not happening.
What an exciting game this has been. Bomb plant after spike plant after spike plant. Round after round. Cloud9 does what they could with that one. No weapons, only pistols. They have the ults and they tried to make it work, but a little too shy on holding the bathrooms, and they're going to be able to make the flank, and GMD gets the read even. He flanks all the way down shorts into bathrooms, even though it was a retake for him. And they recover the rounds. This is starting to look like a very difficult and insurmountable lead for Cloud9, as they have not found anything working here on this attacking side.
No, not at all. It's been a struggle for them. Every single attack they have gets thwarted instantly. Whether it would be Hwin on one end or GMD coming around flanks or just taking ambitious angles on flanks there. Tens has also, he's been entering and getting a kill, but then there hasn't really been another opportunity for them to trade either, like they have been before. Oh no. Oh, Vice. He thought he was safe. He thought he was safe and he still went for it. Maybe the sound effect thought he was going to be backing away from the cyber cage once that went down, but not when he has an op. So confident. 3-4 now. Smokes are down. Wynn's waiting to see if he gets a tag with this. Does see one there and has to imagine that there are going to be a few more. Also, Mikhail's there too to provide some support. Playing the angle. Hunter's Fury in play. Doesn't get a tag for it. But might actually, no, doesn't get that one either. Mikhail's ready for this. He's ready for this. They're gonna, oh, he was ready, but it didn't matter if he was ready. Wynn's there to back him up. They got to get the spike down now. Balla, wall's in play.
Planting, he's up on top of the wall. This could be a massive pick for him. Doesn't have the angle on heaven, so he's kind of safe. But player one doesn't care. He swings that anyway. The Mitch will fall. Shinobi left in a 1 versus 3. He starts off strong against Wynn, who had the operator. But now he has to work his way against 2 players coming in from the truck side, and player one will swing with a headshot on Shinobi's face. And GMD again, they will get the defuse for Gen.G.
Debated.
Win for the gun. They're trying to get the operator of Wynn earlier.
Yeah.
From what looked like a very close game on this first half, Gen.G has taken complete control on this defensive side. Not a single round won. Yeah, it really is. It's starting to look like what we saw in Haven for Gen.G versus Sentinels. And they're running away with it in fantastic form. Every single thing that Cloud9 is doing, they're reading. That play from who was it on the site for A with the Sova, just dominating, not just Fury, keeping the back, the time running so low. Wynn was trying to find anything he could, just with a little tag of the recon bolt or possibly the owl drone to get the shot through the smoke, but all he did was delay them, which was important.
Oh, aggro. They're going aggro on B long here. I think Mitch is prepared for it. He's prepared for it. Oh, man. We go ahead and take those guns. Thank you very much. A couple upgrades for the team. They went hard on B long. I did not expect that at all. Now, but hey, right? You're still going to be a match point. You got a lot of cash to work with. Even with this round win, the stats don't lie. Getting these kinds of comebacks at this point, it will be impossible.
Got the B set again. Last time this happened, Gen.G was able to retake it pretty easily, but Mikhail left in a impossible position with Wynn. They'll back off, save the guns, let Cloud9 survive a little bit longer. Nice play from them. Good read on the aggressive play. Tens through hookah and mid, and then the other 2 waiting. Mitch, the patience to hang back and peek at the same time with Tens to clear that angle, and the timing worked out perfectly. That's just how it is in Valorant sometimes. So Gen.G, the first gamble that they take in this game, desperate for some reason, but it was just a nice little mix-up that they tried to throw in to lock the game down.
They were desperate for some flash, Balla.
Yeah, you know,
that's what it is. That's what we're gonna go for.
It was a feisty series last time for Gen.G against Sen. Like after Sentinels won game 2, they were all around teabagging left and right, shooting their guns up in the sky. Gen.G responded in kind on the 3rd map.
Yeah, there was no respect.
This time maybe they're carrying that through, trying to really say, Cloud9, no, you have no say in this grand finals. You might have taken TSM out, but thanks for doing nothing, because we would have done the exact same thing if it came down to the grand finals.
Hey, thanks for nothing, noob.
We wanted to get the reputation and the unstoppable force that the community has been making about TSM, or I shouldn't say just community, because we're a little guilty of that too.
Us? Not at all. I'm not guilty of anything.
Pushes up the glasses.
Not me there, Balla, of course. Obviously.
All right, well, still match point for Gen.G. Last time these 2 teams met and bind, we talked about it previously. Gen.G did win, and it was in a best-of-1 in group play, which comes with its own unique challenges. BO1 format, He's going to be a little unreliable. Here comes the attack now. Very desperate for Cloud9. Brimstone's out, and he's actually going to get Mikhail on the default. He was there waiting, and he saw the tag from the Sova, and it gave him all the information that he needed. Spike's going to be down. Relic though trying to pick up the pieces here, bring this match back up. Did they get the spike again? Tens did get possession of it, and he's going to be by U-Haul. So the spike is now down. Effie picks up Quinn to bring him back into the combat here, bring him back into the action. GMD in lamps, looking for anyone that's going to be camping around here. And Vice, he's been so good this entire game, but maybe not this time. Tens at default. He's going to be stuck between a rock and a hard place. Only two players left alive. Relics in the back. Relics with 2. Relics with 3. Shinobi's down, though. It's now just left up here. The fate of Cloud9 in game 1 comes down to the orbital strike. He's going to pop the orbital strike. He has no chance but to go to the side, and Relics clutches it. Gets 4 kills, keeps them going in this series. Oh my word, but still match point for Gen.G.
It's another chance for Cloud9, a possibility, a glimmer of hope as they stop Gen.G in their tracks 2 rounds in a row, finally for Cloud9 on this attacking side, and they found something working right here. They've been given the site multiple times, but this time they hold strong in the post-plant situation. Last time that was on B side, and all of a sudden we have some excitement in this second half.
Boy, we definitely needed it, and Cloud9 needed it. This team benefits from that kind of high-octane, adrenaline-pumping action that you would see in these games, and they always bring that.
That's what they're based off of, right? Tens and friends, they frag based on their momentum. They move with that and play so well if they're all feeling good. And this is kind of what this game is about in a lot of sense. Is about the mentality, chemistry, and comms together have to be strong and consistent.
Did get some intel from Shower. Phoenix will be there, and perhaps that call has been made, right? I actually quite like this play. Now they're just going to swap sides. Before, the Sova was over by Showers, just gathering intel, seeing where people were going to be. He's going to be playing that lurker flank. Shinobi just looking to help out. The smokes are down now. GMD's ready for this one. A stop slow orb for Mikhail.
And the molly. The wall too. A lot of delay. There's only 20 seconds, and GMD's playing in front of the smoke. Tens jumps over though, and all of a sudden they've gotten through it, and they get both. Yes, they got the sight. Quinn's still close though, and he's gonna try to go for it with 13 seconds, try to stop the plant, but no, they've got it again. And Cloud9 have roared their way back into the second half with 3 rounds in a row.
And it was 2 instances there because GMD was in a prime position to end that push. They had Cyber Cage out. They heard all of the movement inside of the cage, but it was the camera from Vice shot instantly by GMD, and then Bladestorm popped right away. He went for that so quickly, Tens, and then Vice was there to have his back. Even though he didn't get the kill, he still put GMD in a worse spot than he was previously, 50 HP. All you need to do is throw a couple bullets his way.
They're hunting for the weapons, but they're not going to find them. So we move on to another round. And another thing now for Gen.G to kind of respond into this. They had money in this round where I didn't necessarily expect them, but saving 2 weapons now. We'll see if they can actually buy. We don't have the scoreboard because of the bug, unfortunately, so we only get to see 2 players. And I think Effie's is at the top too, so it'll just tell us that we had the save no matter what.
Take our word for it. Right? Maybe? I don't know. Lots of new updates coming in. We got the X-rays now, which is nice. Before it was just dots. I was squinting a lot, couldn't really see, even though I'm wearing glasses. But with each new update comes a few new technical hitches that happen to be present in all of these updates, though. But we got the Elder Flame, so I'm okay with that.
Well, defaults for Cloud9. Remember the last time they pulled pretty much everybody towards B, except for GMD and Mikhail, who played the U-Haul last time. GMD this time over towards Hookah, so they switched things up. Nobody playing the close dirt. They even get a lot of control out. They don't want to peek this heaven, though. There it is, finally. Takes out the camera. Takes out the information. And it's still holding strong for Gen.G in the site, though, and that's where they might be ending up going over towards B.
The more that this goes on, the more anxious I get for Cloud9. They've managed to claw their way back at the worst possible time.
Careful now.
Shinobi bringing out the wall. Getting some intel, but player one, a very common angle by elbow. 2 kills down. They're now going to divert all their attention over to the site. One player's going to be there to meet them. It's going to be Hwin. Hwin with 2! Oh my! Hwin, he lined that shot up. He'll go ahead and just drone it out. You only got a little bit left to work with. And if you want to end this match with a statement has been made. Gen.G, get game 1.
What a match from start to finish. I'm glad that Cloud9 showed some signs of life in that second half, but a tall task it was, and they won't be able to make it work off the hands of Hwin's double kill op shots. I don't know how many times we've seen that now, GB, where the game ends off of something collateral, but a good effort all around from both sides, I'd say. But Effie's was, to me, the guy who came out swinging here for Gen.G on that attacking side to get them the lead in that first half and get them the lead that they will end up holding all the way through the game.
Gen.G look like players possessed right now. Their win against Sentinels, maybe what they've done is leached the energy from all the Sentinel fans that were spamming those emotes the whole time. Maybe they've just taken that energy. They fed themselves now, and this is an unstoppable force. What does Cloud9 possibly do as we get ready for Ascent?
You know what? I think Gen.G just about got a taste of their own medicine. What they did in semifinals, obviously playing against Sentinels, that comeback on Haven was massive. And I thought Cloud9 might be able to pull it off. But once again, it came down to them just being a bit too sluggish, obviously, off the start. Fantastic work coming out for the boys on Gen.G. And obviously, you know what? I'll start off with you, Bala. That first half, man, that first half was so incredibly close, reminiscent of when they played in the group stages. But second half, it all fell apart for the boys on Cloud9. Why is that?
Yeah, I think for basically it was the reason they ended up losing that lead in the first half, and the way that Gen.G was playing, again, I kind of alluded to it multiple times in the game. It seemed that they were prepped. It seemed like they knew what Cloud9's strat book was going into this. And so anytime they tried to make the approach onto the sites, they would give it to them. In a lot of cases, they would give them the site, but they were able to retake in such a way that I don't think we've seen yet. And so I got to give props to Gen.G for that, because it was all in their hands.
Alex, we have some replays to play as we kind of discuss our next talking point. So many great moments all the way into the end with Win getting that huge collat in bathrooms that pretty much solidified it. There was a point in time, though, round 16, I think that's when it really started spelling the end of things. C9 ended up using all of their ults to try and solidify the round, but it didn't work. Gen.G captured that. Do you think that was kind of the final nail in the coffin? I know C9 started making a comeback from them, but I think Gen.G at that point had all the momentum in their favor.
Yeah, there's a point where you're just so far gone, and everything you're doing, you're taking wild guesses, right? Now, I don't want to say that that's what Cloud9 was doing, that they were guessing necessarily, but the reason why I feel like C9, as their backs were against the wall, right, game's nearly done, and they started to put together some more rounds. You look at the reasons why, you mentioned it, Reflections, they had pocketed a lot of ults, and a lot of the reasons why those rounds were won were because of those ults that they managed to use to great effect. You can only do that so much, and that's why I was concerned also at the end of that last round of play, because time was wasting, and that TP came out. You got players stacked over at B long, their play is to go through the teleporter. Like, if things just go wrong, it's like, all right, screw it. Everyone just go through teleport. We're just going to go take A, because they surely have invested everyone over toward the other side. And because of that, I think it's just, it's like after a while, it was surely just going to all come falling down. And it certainly did, courtesy of Win with an awesome collateral.
Oh, that collat was beautiful. And you mentioned that TP, you know, just to highlight, obviously, C910s ended up going absolutely massive when Gen.G decided to last minute rotate through that TP to go into hookah. He mowed him down. That was a beautiful play. But at the end of the day, obviously, Gen.G gets the victory. This was a must-win map. Bala, I send it back to you, though. You know, we kind of talked a little bit beforehand, and I know this was the question directed towards Alex, but obviously you were a part of it. Who was going to be the matchups, right? Who were the players to kind of watch out for? And one of those that Alex pointed out, Bala, was Hwin versus 10Z, right? Those are 10s, excuse me. They needed to shut them down. I think it's fair to say, Bala, that Hwin absolutely countered 10s. And not only that, Mitch as well, who was rocking it up at a certain point in time. I think he did a good job.
Yeah, I think that might have been the first time we've seen Cloud9 and 10s have only 10 frags. I don't think I've seen a game where he doesn't have a 20 bomb, no matter how far that game goes. So they shut him down that game, and maybe off the backs of Hwin, but also maybe just a really good plan all around as a team.
Well, either way, boys, I think it was fair enough to say that this was an absolute must-win for the Gen.G side. They end up securing it. Now they're going into one of their hardest maps, which is going to be Ascent. We already know it's really tried and true when it comes to C9. We'll see how that one's going to match up. We're going to go to a quick little break. When we come back, map number 2 coming your way.
There was a lot of hardship. There was a lot of struggle because it was just me and my son. I work full-time, sometimes I pull doubles, sometimes I'm unable to attend everything.
Did you know that 2 of 5 New York City households, just like Jessica's, don't earn enough to cover the basics? That's 2.5 million New Yorkers who struggle to pay for housing, childcare, food, transportation, healthcare, taxes, and other expenses. Yet, only 1/3 of that number are poor, according to the Federal Poverty Guideline. They are the hidden poor, who are routinely overlooked and undercounted.
My husband had just lost his job. He was struggling, I was struggling, we were falling behind the bills. A month later, that's when we got evicted. And we walked out of there with just the clothes that we had on our backs. I was falling apart, but I had to keep it together because I was 4 months pregnant with my daughter.
A steady job doesn't guarantee a family's self-sufficiency. 84% of households below self-sufficiency standards have at least one worker. But it doesn't have to be this way. What we know is that healthy, educated, and financially secure New Yorkers make a safer and more prosperous New York. We also know that government, community-based organizations, corporations, and private donors are essential to building a self-sufficient community. By working together, we can move New Yorkers from crisis to stability to strength.
I see Jalen doing great things. I just want him to do and be everything that he can be and get everything that life has to offer for him.
We all have a role to play. What's yours?
searching down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air like a blazing flare. Just stare 'cause the flames will burn us. I thought you were the one for me.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Grand Finals here for the Pulse Arena Invitational in support of United Way of New York City. My name is Taylor Reflections Noble, joined by Golden Boy and Bala. They're going to be your casters for game number 2. We just witnessed a fantastic game 1, despite the scoreline obviously coming in at, what was it, about 12-7, 12-8. Either way, Gen.G, or excuse me, 13-7, 13-8. Gen.G ends up taking it, a decisive victory, but now we move into arguably the best map for Cloud9. That's going to be on Ascent. Bala, we'll start with you. How well do you think Gen.G is going to be able to put up a fight?
I think they're gonna do their best, and obviously they're playing out of their minds right now. So I think that you might be underselling them a little bit, Reflections, because they are playing fantastic. I mean,
called out
time and time again.
That's fine.
They're preps. They're ready. They're reading Cloud9. They're approaching the weak spots for them. They're conditioning them to make the weak spots even weaker. That's what we saw in Bind on that attacking side. So I mean, I'm seeing Gen.G definitely going to put up a fight. You say that Cloud9 is their best map on Ascent, and yeah, I think that's true. We'll have to see whether Gen.G can actually overcome based off of what we've basically seen, which is momentum.
Bala, I'm going to whip some stats your way, my friend. You ready to get whipped with some stats?
I am.
You want to get whipped with some stats? This dude is all right. I'm going to whip you with some stats. This dude is baby. So Cloud9, their win rate, thank you so much to Spike GG, by the way, giving those boys a shout out because they work super hard. Their win rate on Ascent, 80%. Not bad. Looking pretty solid. Want to know what Gen.G's win rate is on Ascent?
Here we go.
17, bro. 17. So, you know, I mean, I'll take the 80% over the 17 any day of the week.
100%. I mean, anything can happen at the end of the day, right? Gen.G could come through and absolutely whoop on C9, knock them out of the tournament, and become the champs themselves. But yeah, the stats do stand up, I would say, Bala, at, and GB, thanks for backing me up there, because at the end of the day, man, when it comes down to Ascent, C9 dominates.
That's hard stats, okay? That's not just waffling about, like, oh, yeah, they have a better win rate and stuff like that. That's some good stuff. I
tried to bring up stats before, and I was told specifically on broadcast, we're only 4 months.
Bala, by
Bala, of course.
I would never do that to you.
Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
Hey, either way, I gotta say, I love both of you guys. Game's getting started. Let's send it.
All righty, thank you so much, Reflections. It is now time to jump into game number 2. Now, I'm going to tell you this much, Bala. If in fact Cloud9 don't win this, is going to be hilarious because people are just going to be spamming 17 the entire time. I'm not ready for that. Oh boy, oh boy. That is a crazy stat line, though, right? Like that is nuts.
It is, and I'm curious now, like a lot more detail into this. Like they lost Ascent 13-8 to Sentinels, and what else? They haven't played it other than that. So
their biggest win was a 13-7 win against China Win. That was it, and China Win's like no more.
Yeah, that's ages ago. That's decades. We're looking back prehistoric.
That's like 2 weeks ago. God, jeez, you know.
And a game that moves as fast as this, 2 weeks is a long time, clearly, because Cloud9 has switched it up. And so is Gen.G. Approach onto the safe site, though. Vice is in there, and GMD will get the first frag of the game.
Now looking good for Gen.G, riding off the momentum of that last game. Mikhail's going to have the flank here. Relics didn't check the tree, but also didn't check by the cubby. There's Sense. He also has his teammate there to back him up. All three are going to be coming through this doorway. Scratch Chat, you're actually going to be sending one onto the catwalk. Tens tried to get inside of there, was met with a shot instantly. IFE's the wall out actually to give him the angle, but no one was giving him a kill. They were playing around Generator intelligently there. It's all to Shinobi now. And that's Gen.G. Off the heels of that first frag that they got, they did not look back. Fast play. They got into A site, put that spike down, and they were off to the races.
Effie's with the 3K to start the game off again. Well done from him. GMD with the first entry, and then from there was no coming back into that A site. He had the attempt from Mitch with the wall, but it does not work out. And this is important. They can get rolling on this attacking side. They are playing the Sageless comp, which I think has some benefit on this attacking side. Also, the double smoke version of it, which means, which is almost necessary, I think, on Ascent. As you can see, so important. We already have 3 smokes out from both Omens. There's gonna be a near sight. Effie's though very low, so is GMD. They're pushing through. It doesn't matter. 3 more players still to go through, and he will get away. Back up right into his team.
Smart play from GMD to get out of dodge. That could have easily have gone wrong. Okay, Tens, let's relax there for a minute. Let me finish my sentence. But now, attention over toward this B side. Tens is going to be waiting for this one. Can updraft over this. We'll have Shinobi there to back him up. In the distance, too, is their Omen. All right, now that spike is going to be in play here, and Tens has been hitting those shots with that Sheriff. It's been clinical.
I like how he flips and spams to the wall rather than just reloading.
Yeah, why not? This guy clearly knows all the angles. Oh, okay, 3 kills for Tens. No, don't do it to him. Don't do it to him. Your boy's going to be in the back site there. Relix has his teammates back. It's going to be GMD on the flank. He's got 20 HP and a Dream. He needs to get there. He has a Phantom. He has a Phantom in round 2. They see him. He's going to go for this one. And Shinobi with the kill, and they get the thrifty round win to tie things up here at the start.
I'm confused there from GMD. It looked like he gave up. Maybe try to... I don't know what that was from CT Spawn. Rotating through. He was in market to start things off on that one, and then tries to flank around, but it's too hard to break through that site afterwards. We saw the same thing in the other game that we watched on Ascent, where they kind of kept him inside of that bomb site. That's interesting, and they instantly get ecoed after winning that pistol round in a strong fashion. They started off really well again in this one too, but lose the handle they had on the round completely.
Yeah, it was Vice, I think, who died early. And just went for the... Was it Vice? You just went for that challenge. May not have been, but either way, though. All that matters is that for Cloud9 and their fans, they simply want to see this go to a Game 3. Still a long ways from determining that one, though. Smart wall play just to slow things down, and they did see him. Oh, actually got the tag and might be able to get this kill here, but he has to be careful not to commit because someone could be on the other side of the wall. Mitch doesn't know that, obviously, and Mikhail doesn't have much of a choice. Now he can get out of there.
Meanwhile, they're on the B. They're on towards the A site. They're up. Cat Al droning out. GMD got a lot of information through, but they're holding strong. You got the Omen ends. Vice inside the site, and he'll get one. Effie's coming around the corner. The paranoia to actually get some time as Vice finds the corner and backs his teammate side up perfectly. Wynn's gonna try to lurk through with the spike, and that's gonna end the round right there, outright.
On target.
Another headshot right through the structure. Shinobi, Vice with 3 on that round. And Cloud9 are gonna benefit off of that thrifty round 2 win that they got. What an odd start to this game, too, Bala.
Yeah, it really is, because I recall specifically, maybe in that Gen.G game, the same eco round that happened on second, where it started out strong for the attack, but all of a sudden they just lose completely. I don't remember which game it was, but I feel a sense of deja vu here.
Keep up.
Cloud9 will take the lead, and it's Shinobi at the top in these first 3 rounds.
A look at the start. Trying to get some utility out of this one. I think you got 1 on Hell. Vice is going to be Hell, and then 10's up on Heaven. GMD now run it back inside of the site. Is he going to get any value out of this run it back, though? They're going to be backing away from this. 10's. That's a shot. Nicely done. GMD, though, benefits from the run it back. A kill on Vice down low is now going to leave A site open. 10's still up top, waiting for his teammates to get there. Oh, man. The Omen gets chunked down to half health. Just a guess shot there for 10's, and he ends up hitting him. Obviously, he's not aware of that. But all that was going on, Michael actually popped up on the flank. Mikhail right there.
What a setup.
They got so preoccupied on Heaven looking to kill the players down low that they weren't paying attention to their flank.
They had no map control on top of that. And they got stuck in Heaven, all three players. Mikhail was even staying back over towards Tree at the start of that, just to hold on, but realized they didn't come. Realized that there was nobody. They spotted all three, and that's the cue for him to come from behind and take that one out. A well done execute. GMD with the run it back, and also from the shadows by Relics, I believe, who's on Omen. And they come in from the Heaven and take everything out. So Gen.G responds with another round of their own. It's starting to shades of bind.
I heard some burrs. Yep. Maybe we have an Odin in play. Oh, I like the scenic camera that Vice has set up. I didn't know he was such a photographer. Yeah. You get through mid here, Mitch might get a target. Doesn't really work out though. Oh boy. Get on out of there, bud. You don't want to deal with that one. GMD again on the entry has been unbelievable. Gets in sight, gets a kill, backs away.
Might get too cheeky through the smoke. They're still all waiting right behind us, just making no noise. Shinobi will find one through mid. That's going to be the cue for them to continue up this catwalk. Tens will get one. Shinobi is ulting from spawn, and he finds another one. Now down to a 2 versus 2. It's Mitch and Shinobi. First on the other side. Gen.G trying to hold on. Player 1. And Relics.
Both by the generator. That shock dart could have done some damage. They're very low. Both players are going to be very low. Oh, Shinobi with the Odin. Shades of Sinatra and what he was doing before. Effie's didn't get tagged. He is in hell. They don't know that, but they're going to go and check this. They have an Odin as well and actually do the damage out there. But Shinobi, 4 kills for him. And boy, he has been a talking point on this team. It's always Tens and Vice, and we're like, yeah, Shinobi's just doing his job. Job complete. What a way to get that round for his team.
And at the top of the scoreboard, this is what you want to see for Cloud9. Because Shinobi has been that anchor, that support player that lurks at the bottom multiple times. A lot of people wondering his role in the team, and he's been there in the games that we saw, dominating and helping out his team in a lot of different fashions, but not necessarily flashy at the top of the scoreboard. This time, though, he's there. He's got the Odin to make, I believe that was Relics in mid, pay as he tried to lurk up. That's what actually worked. Oh, sorry. Effie's.
I'll go ahead and grab that orb. I'm going to pull value out of that. Just quick little tussle there to get the orb one step closer. I think that was going to be G&G who got it. Mitch, what an angle that he's holding with the op. You don't really expect that, not to play that aggressive. Tens is flashed, but he has the judge, and Ten gets bodied there by Wins op. Relics is waiting too.
Cover going out.
If they commit this, it's going to be a blind commit. There's Odin. Odin control 1. Oh, actually. Relics hitting the button maybe would lead them to believe that no one's going to be there to poke this. And Relics is going to get value instantly for that.
Trade's still there for GMD. Shinobi has to hold on by himself in this. There's not even any information that they're going to be able to gather. He gets smoked out. They break through that door. No, they're going to go through this.
They're in front of him.
With a drone.
They're in front of him. Oh. Okay, but Vice is there. Oh, win! Headshot just so fast with that. Get the spike down.
He's planning for a main. The door is down, so Mitch is going to be able to see this angle when he tries to cross. No, it's not down. They didn't break it because they went through Heaven. And he's going to be able to get to A main with no information, so such a difficult angle, but there it is.
He had 11 HP, still went for the angle, knew he had to take it, because with the wall down and him baiting out the plant, would have made it way more challenging for Win, and that is why Win is so damn good.
That's a perfect read, knowing the last player is Sage, knowing that that wall is still a possibility. He had to stay in front. Cannot take the gamble that he didn't see you cross. And re-peek there, well done from Win. Now up to 5 kills with that operator, and he made that round magical. Through the smoke onto one, gets the headshot on the Vice, who was about to take them all out, and then winning the 1v1.
No more charges left.
Well done.
Blinding.
Oh, so the paranoia play then allows Vice to get further out there, but they did get the orb. So that little micro battle goes to Gen.G in this round.
Got the spike.
This is very reminiscent of the first game, Bind, where these two teams kept going back and forth and back and forth. But then Gen.G just ran away with it.
They're playing so carefully up Cat and short A. And they get a pick and they still stay so long. And it's been working out. Obviously right now it's kind of a weird round for anything to go down. GMD will again run it back into the site. He's been so good on the entry, but there's nobody to find this time because it's just pistols. So Cloud9 playing way back, and Gen.G will take the lead again.
He did exactly what he needed to do too. Just clear sight. Make sure no one was going to be located at Hell, so they can freely go in there and plant. They had the smoke. He saw that one cleared out there. GMD waiting in the cubby. Hello. And Shinobi, the last player left alive. It's Win again. This guy in the op, Bala, has been spectacular thus far in this final. He's been spectacular ever since the first time we saw him play. Everyone hypes up Wardell, and for good reason, because Wardell's insane. But I enjoy how Win is a very unassuming op player for this team. He just gets the job done. He ain't trying to be fancy. He's just trying to be efficient.
Especially on the attacking side, he's been a star for Gen.G time and time again, especially last round, even on Bind, so last map, I should say. Guns, though, this time, they're going to get orb control again towards B, and you were saying reminiscent of Bind, because this is exactly what they were doing. They were getting control and then deciding to push over towards A pretty much every time. Only 2 takes on B in that entire side for Gen.G last time. This time, it's through Catwalk. Repetition, time and time again. They're getting a pickup Cat, staying for a bit, seeing how they're going to play it, and then they go through the doors or even through the smoke in one case, showing off a lot of depth in this game.
Shadows traveling.
Mikhail's idea there to shoot the wall as it was coming down, really smart. They don't have that structure to fall back on now. If they decided to go over toward B, which would leave a player in that area for just a little bit. Relics now by mid-market. So many players are going to be stacked here. The flash is out. Relics. Oh my goodness, Relics. Oh, Relics looking for another. Oh, Relics looking for 3. That's 4. Oh, luckily Shinobi was there to have his back, because eventually your boy's going to run out of some ammo. Now it's all up to Effie's. 1v5. We'll win the battle there against Relics, but he's certainly done his job. Only 13 seconds remaining. Not really much of an opportunity here for Effie's to do anything of value with this, and that round will go to Cloud9. Relics, what a play in mid-market.
That was fantastic stuff. And that's what he needed to do. I mean, he was by himself. He had no backup at all. Finally, Shinobi was there with the Hunter's Fury as they started coming in through B main, so there was no pitch available, but playing in market had to get at least 2 for his life to be worth something in that round, and he does make it work, so Cloud9 respond and tie it back up again. Round after round, we stay neck and neck.
Yes, this should do.
That, by the way, was the first time that they did that cat control. They got all the way up and then decided to come back in towards B. Relics held strong, knew that it would come at some point. And it works and pays dividends for them. They go back to the standard, grab the B control, and then back off towards mid.
Right here.
Vice has a camera by Wine, by the way, that I think will call them all out when they push.
Might even already see Gen.G.
Nowhere to run!
And on the entry, here it comes TenZ. He's going to stop GMD. A big kill there because GMD has been very efficient every single time he gets into sight. Back up though from TenZ. That's 3 kills for him. Effie's is going to be stuck over by Hell. Quinn just barely misses TenZ. And TenZ gets past him. Oh, man. That is rough. Quinn is probably like, how did he get there? That was just the worst possible timing.
No chance. Recon bolt will be nice, but TenZ will get that really quick now to pulse out. He has to drone out. There's a classic as well. This is going to be so difficult to come from that bottom side, but he's going to have to dance, and dance he doesn't. As Win gets it, 8 bullets. There's a paranoia out. It's a little too wide. 15 seconds, though, and he has to bait it out. There's a fake teleport. He doesn't necessarily know it, and yes, Win will make it count and keep Gen.G in the lead, not give it up at all. A 1 versus 3, and they are making their making their voices heard. Win with 9 kills now, and that's a clutch for the ages.
Relics tried to bait TP. Almost took the bait, by the way. But it... Win, bro. You are nasty.
That drone dart, by the way, that secured it. TenZ was playing with fire. As soon as that drone came out, that's the exact reason why he put it out, by the way. There was no scouting to be done. He just needs to win the fights. And because he got that dart onto TenZ, he's able to spam him through that very, very weak floor. Such a heads-up play.
Another round, another orb grabbed. There's nothing they could do to stop it. And now GMD will have run it back. Win gets another frag for them. This time it's going to come courtesy of a rifle. He uses the op, he uses a rifle. It doesn't matter. He can do everything.
I was TenZ getting really aggressive up cats. Trying to see, okay, is there anything to work through here? But Win is there at the top of mid. And they get the neural theft at the last second on the corpse, extending all the time that they need. And they realize there's only 1 at B. Time to run. Let's go. Blaze up, running back, about to go through as well, probably. Mitch is stuck by himself, but Relic in spawn, he gets 2 headshots, and then also gonna be able to ult with that, the orbs that he got in the back of sight. Take flight. And they're not even on that yet.
Had Relic's been able to get that kill, Bala, it would have been so huge for them. Would have slowed it. Shinobi then comes from behind with the Odin, just sprays him down.
Joke's over.
Now GMD is going to use that run it back that he got from this round as he grabbed that orb. He's going to go for this one here and gets everything he needs from that one. All the intelligence necessary. 1 player by double stacks. Vice goes in. It's going to be traded instantly. Wait a minute. This is actually not winnable for Vice. Oh, but it's Mikhail. You can say Michael. You can say Mikhail. You can say whatever you want. All you got to say is that he won that round for his team.
Oh, it's so close. Vice almost had that, even though GMD did the work to force it into a 3 versus 1. But they peak 1 by 1. Although, still too many angles even still for him to clear because Mikhail was right behind that box and he was unsure, a little indecisive. Could he still be in the boathouse or not? Wow. Gen.G have now finally brought it to 2 rounds in the lead, and this is what we saw in Bind. Essentially, basically the same type of half unfolding here. As we go into the final 2 rounds, it's potential for Gen.G to extend this even further.
Effie's sending some shots because earlier TenZ did actually go quite aggro in mid and paid for that one with his life. That was Win who got the shot before, so Effie's holding that angle down. Activity over by Long. Expect this aggressive play to start to come through. The flash around the corner, perhaps.
They got mid control.
Yeah, they're not going to have a lot of weapons here to play around with, too. Look out for TenZ in heaven. Relic tries to TP and get a little cheeky with it, but he's not going to get any value out of that one. GMD again doing what he has been doing this whole time, starting these fights and successfully getting 1 or 2 kills. Job certainly well done for him. If you are this Gen.G roster, you are so satisfied with his play. A flawless round. 7-4 now. Gen.G starting to get eaten up here, starting to add up some W's in the win column. This is dangerous as we go into this final round in the half.
This is so important here for Cloud9. They get the guns back into this. They save the last round. But making it a 7-5 half, it's already kind of a little rough in any case. But just that extra round, keep it ever so closer, give them the space in the room, because they can make things work on the attack, I believe. I'm trying to look up the stats for how the Cloud9's Ascent game went the last time. I believe they just basically shut out on attack and completely kept it flawless. Be main control. They're trying to fight back with the paranoia, but nobody's going to be able to peek off of that. Vice is going to have to fall back, because every single time they throw the hot hands down, the molly from Phoenix to keep them back.
Their whole strategy has centered around getting orb in the beginning. They've had ults on ults on ults this whole game, and there's been no adjustment for Cloud9 to try and punish that, because there really isn't much with their composition that they can do besides a paranoia. And then, oh, you got a molly there, you can't push it. This is literally the same thing that they've been doing, and it's been working. It's either going to be the aggro play on long, or it's just going to be the slow play here by the tree.
And the reason why this works so well is because they do have the double smokes. Hold on,
Mikhail's going to get this.
So aggressive. He has no clue. Oh, it doesn't matter. Shinobi will peek him anyways and take that fight straight up. Tens as well will get one through the door. Head the one way, and he's going to put down more cloud burst so he can dash back on the side, but he takes another one too. A double peek from Bison. Tens in the corner. He's going to stay on that, and he'll get another one. Finally, the trades are in. Well played on that A defense. And they do get the round that they so desperately needed, GB, as we go into the second half.
Yeah, if I'm Cloud9, I'm happy with that. This was not a pretty half for C9 at all. Gen.G have looked exquisite. Every single task that they set out to accomplish round after round, they successfully did so. Cloud9 were always kind of playing off of the back foot, so a 7-5 conclusion in the first half, yeah, that's not bad. Now it's time to shift gears. Focus on the task at hand. You chose Ascent. What are you going to do on attack here? Because you cannot prove me wrong on the stats. That's what I care about most, Paula. My analysis.
That's what you think, man, but it's 7-5 right now, and Gen.G is looking 17%. So good. So good.
Here.
It is a big peek down short A, a pistol round strat. GMD will punish Tens instantly, and they even get some damage down on Sage, but that's a quick heal back into it. And they work back into mid. This is Cloud9 trying to gain some control back into this. But the thing is, they have so much staying power, Gen.G does, with the double smokes that they have. Omen, which refreshes, plus the 3 smokes from Brim. They can keep them at bay for so long. Another one going to be tossed down onto short nothing towards market, though. And this is going to be a hard hold for Hwin in the site with Mikhail.
There is so much delay, and damage that can be done, too. Shock darts from safe angles, Brimstone Molly from safe angles, as well as a Phoenix Molly. The composition not only can block vision, but it also is just going to give them damage to boot. ISO does manage to tag up GMD a few times. He's at 15%. But when headshot on Mitch.
It's the most important fight right there.
It's big, because now they have to rethink their entire step. They now have to either just commit or double back, because they have no time.
20 seconds.
And they're going to choose to double back here. Yeah, and this is not going to look good. You got 2 players that are going to be playing around one another over at Hell. 13 seconds remaining.
No chance.
Yep. Yeah, this is not looking good at all, Bala. Despite their best efforts here, it's going to be very ambitious, and it's Effie's 2 kills, done and dusted.
Oh, man. That was... a lot of good stuff there from Cloud9. A lot of good ideas. They responded to the mid presence from GMD pretty well. Obviously, they lost tens right off the bat, but then they started to work over towards A, and then they got market control and walked up mid. But Win is there, and Win is aware of everything that's going on the map. He turns his head for a brief second, takes down a spike, and realizes that the potential was them for wrapping over towards A and to get a big pinch on that site, but shut down it slightly from Win. And from there was no more ideas. There was no plan B from Cloud9, unfortunately, and that's going to end up losing them the pistol round and possibly start to lose them any space and any room that they were trying to get in that first half.
Cover going out.
Tens died in the first pick, first engagement. Tens has kind of been neutralized.
Remember, 10 kills on Bind.
Scary. Yeah, that's scary. He's been. I was gonna say this in the when we were talking to Reflections, that Tens has been one of the most consistent top fraggers I've ever seen, just constantly at the top of the scoreboard. But this game, this series,
oh my goodness,
has just been like they just shut him down.
Yeah. GB, what a camera from Mikhail. I know it's an anti-eco, but they have no clue and have all the information that this push is coming through mid. This is why GMD is able to push over to Cat, because he knows there's 4 players literally inside of mid right now. They're going to try to work through the smoke again. Tens. He's going to smoke it off, and they're going to make an approach towards B. This is actually really weird. They have 2 players in spawn to start a crossfire. They're hoping that they can barrel their way through B, because player 1 is going to go down here for sure. Possibly even the other, as Tens is in the corner.
With them going so far into the map, they're giving up a lot of the control and the real estate for the rest of the site. And then the knowledge that was gained because of the camera, they're just pinned here. They now have to try and make the best of a bad situation. And Effie's is going to make them pay. This same thing happened in the last round. They now just have to commit to this, and they simply don't have the time to work with. And again, Gen.G pick up another round win off of just the time wasted from Cloud9. And you're right, Mikhail with that camera, that was the entirety of that round.
That was it. That just gives them all the map control in the entire world. They had the same thing on the first round where they kind of spotted it with Win, and then after that they can basically position themselves perfectly to have a pinch, a wide pinch too, on multiple sides, multiple angles. This time it was GMD playing in the grass, and they had to come up through heaven. Gets the one remaining player in that A site.
Well, I went against my one rule to look at chat while I'm casting, and everyone's spamming 17%.
Yes, chat. I love you guys. Thank you so much.
The mad Dr. Balla. You heard that laugh? That wasn't a laugh of someone who was like, oh man, you know, GB, that was a good call, but you know, no, that was a mad scientist laugh. Respect it.
You know, as long as I'm right at the end of the day, yeah. I was hoping for a close game, but Gen.G is playing out of their minds. It still could obviously be very, very close, depending on how Cloud9 actually plays these gun rounds, but I'm not seeing anything special again. Tens down. GB, you pointed out in the pistol round, he's down again in the same spot to GMD with the run it back.
Tens is a non-factor. That's it. He's just a non-factor in this game. I can't believe I'm even uttering those words. But a lot of this team's success has come off of the back of Tens. The man has solo carried matches, has given him bracket appearances because of his incredible gameplay. And I'm not even going to say that it's that Tens is playing bad. No, Gen.G are shutting them down because they just dealt with this with Sinatra. Oh, just going through the Aries. And Mikhail was right there to help his teammate out. The spike is down. It's going to be Relics. He's got a ghost. He's got no time left. That's it. Throw it away. 10-5. And Gen.G, they look like they're running away with this one.
That they do. 10-5. And this time it was 4 people who stayed alive. GMD is the man of the hour. Peeking down short and already starting the round with a complete imbalance. Basically a repeat of pistol rounds, although this time maybe a little bit more concerted effort from Cloud9 to go through that B main. But man, it looks like they're out of ideas. 2 times they go through mid, 1 time they basically, I don't know. I don't even know a word for
there's
what they
a difference.
B main. It was just kind of like, oh, lackadaisical, I guess.
Yeah, there's a difference on the attack for Gen.G versus C9, and it starts with this right here. How they are playing for the orb. Every single time they play for that orb, every round, the orb was grabbed. So they're just getting ultimates, but it's like a task that they're accomplishing as a team, and it succeeds, and then they rotate, and they have a plan, and it's been working for them. Whereas Cloud9, they are now out of plans. They are now out of strategies. It's like when you're playing matchmaking and you're like, all right, guys, what should we do? And then that one guy's like, yo, dude, just play for picks. That's literally what's going on right now.
Finally, kill for TenZ on this side of the half, and Relix is starting to do what he was doing, but Quinn knows, man. He just owl drones straight up. He knows there's a TP in play. TenZ finds another one, though, and they might actually have this. Yes! The A site is knocked open. And two players there, they're going to get the spike down. Win and Mikhail are going to be the last two players remaining, and they're going to go ahead and save.
Looks like playing for picks worked out, Balla.
You go. That's the thing that they were doing when we watched them play earlier on today. Cloud9 on Ascent, they were working Relics through mid very, very aggressively by himself multiple times. This time it was kind of a non-factor because TenZ was kind of just fragging up short, which is, again, a key to success. But they got to
don't know how many times. Yeah, I don't know how many times that's going to work.
Yeah.
You know? You can only give them so much of those picks, right? And only so many times are Gen.G going to put themselves in a less than stellar position. But in any case, so Cloud9 will get a big round win. They've needed this one. Give them that confidence to come back into this game. It's still doable. This is not like Bind, where they were down 12, what was it, like 12-5 or something, and having to come back from some insane deficit. This is still very winnable for C9.
100%. And that, I think that gap is very important. The fact that they're not letting Gen.G get to match point on these last two rounds is so important. I mean, no matter how hard it is to claw back a deficit that they have, they've made it now 4 rounds. And it's potential. Gen.G did the same thing for them. So what's the idea? Is it going to continue being Relics lurking through mid and TenZ fragging up short A? And that's basically that was the formula for Gen.G on the attacking side. So maybe it'll work. They don't have the double smokes there, and unfortunately,
that's rough.
Quinn is working Relics.
Go down. The cloudburst didn't go down fast enough. It wasn't really a fault of anyone. He just needed to just shoot that thing out faster, and Win had the perfect angle. He held that thing down. Yeah,
that's also a perfect, like, I don't know, distinction between the two comps. The cloudburst has to be used instead of a brimstone smoke, and he has to go so far. Vice is going to get the entry, though. They might still make this round work. Yes! 2 for Vice, and they've locked the site open again. Player 1 up in heaven. They're going to have to back off because the cyber cage is down, but so much information with one dart, they almost had to spam.
Shock dart. Shock dart.
Spike is down. Desperation hour for Cloud9. You need this round. Mitch, another kill. Gives them a fighting chance, and they are going to bail out of this one. No need to give up the guns. You have the op. You've lost a few rounds here. Economy will be hurting a little bit, and as Win went mid, Mitch was waiting for him right there, and he's actually going to run into another player if they tear through this doorway, which they are. So they'll get this round win, and they have to go hunting just to take this gun away from them, to hurt them for this next round.
Gen.G playing careful, saving for that.
Player 1 waiting. Player 1 waiting, and he gets 2. He stays alive. Player 1 stays alive and gets 2. That's going to give his teammates some cash to work with. He needed to hold on to that gun, and he clenched it hard. That and the butt cheeks, everything.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah, I mean, I have to mention the butt cheeks at least one time.
You said clench, and then the mind just went straight to butt cheeks. I like it. I respect it. That's dedication.
I was going to say clutch to pearls there, too, but that wasn't really apropos for the situation.
So 3 rounds now, and that was an interesting one because we had Cypher looking through A main, ending up taking the opening frags on the A because they put so much pressure on Catwalk that they were looking the other way. So Vice does his work. It's an instant ult. GMD's pushing through A main, and he will get Vice, the hero of the last round. That's actually a cue for Mitch to try to work a little closer towards A main. So far, so good. I love those Hunter Furies opening rounds. And they will dash through this, but player one will get Mitch. TenZ is alone, and he swings wide to get a second. It's all left to the one player stuck inside of this main. It's Shinobi, and he has to wait for Relics to make the trek all the way back to join him in B main.
Pushing against a Cypher on B will always be challenging. And the way that the Cypher is putting up cyber cages has a lot of one-way setup. And if you're new, maybe watching for the first time, you don't know what that is. It's when you place your smoke or your cyber cage in an area where you see their footsteps, but they won't really see you at all. And Mikhail's been doing that every single round, and now Cloud9, they have finally encountered it.
There's the smoke that gives up the idea that they maybe want to approach towards B. But with 3 people here, it's going to be very difficult. Paranoid through. He TP's right in front of him.
Yeah. Well, there was an attempt.
An attempt was made.
You're asking a lot of those 2 guys to bring that round back. Not like it was going to be impossible.
I'm asking for a lot maybe, but they have to make it work, right? Like, they have to be winning even rounds like that, because it starts off wrong for you guys, but it's so close now for Gen.G to be able to actually take this to match point and take it to tournament point. We're 2 rounds away from that after 17% win rate.
Oh, TenZ has this nice cheeky angle here. Look at that wall. I love it.
A matchmaking strat.
There's no respect on these streets for Bala.
That's what they're resorting to. I mean, he's like desperation dashing through B main, and it's not working out. No pick there, because JMD only makes those aggressive peaks when he has support in there. It's actually a plan for it. So I don't know.
Revealing area.
Recon dart shot just to see if maybe they could get a tag or something. Make them think that they're going to continue to look in this direction. Shinobi actually hearing the camera out. And when that camera's played, Mikhail just played Shinobi like a fiddle. He kept bringing out the camera. He kept coming out of it because there's no delay. That thing's instantaneous. And when Shinobi thought he was safe to go in for that one, it ended up not happening. Brimstone ult coming out, orbital strike, forces everyone outside of mid-market. While that was going on, Effie's headshot onto Vice on A site. 13 seconds remaining, Bala. They have to move. They have to make a decision. Quinn's going to be blocked off from the smoke. Quinn misses the shot. Mikhail's going to be in the back. No time to work with here. Mikhail, 4 kills for the Cypher. Gives them match point and tournament point. 1 more round, and Gen.G will be your Pulse Invitational champs.
Mikhail might have just put the dagger into this game, into this tournament, as he picks up the 4 kills, not only playing Shinobi on the entry, but also the cyber cage to slow things down, and then going all the way back into sights. Even has his Omen player come in, but he doesn't even need that. As Gen.G put themselves on tournament point, there's really not much more that Cloud9 can throw out. I mean, I think we've seen their whole arsenal. They went back to the pistol round idea of basically rushing up mid eventually and trying to work through spawn.
This is it. Cloud9.
Sheriff, too.
Certainly not riding high. They're on Sheriffs, pistols, Bulldogs. Desperation mode for C9. They've had an incredible tournament, knocking out TSM, one of the top teams in North American Valorant. And everyone thought this could be their time. But while all that was going on, while all the hype was being generated, everyone forgot about Gen.G. And they've been waiting for this moment, man.
That they have from the start of Valorant. They won that first T1 Invitational.
Oh no! Oh no, the dark cover went out and Effie's had to line up there. Effie's gets 2 kills. He'll back away. He did exactly what he needed to do. Relics gets onto the site. He'll be in the back by Hell. They heard the TP come out. Spike is down though, but so much was given up. Still 5 members left alive for Gen.G. They're going to start to move around this one here. Relics is going to be located by Hell. That was a weakened FE, so he was going to be able to get that, but only 1 player, and that's it! That's it! Mikhail gets the final frag, and ladies and gentlemen, your Pulse Invitational champions, Gen.G.
What a game, too. Back and forth at the start, but as soon as they put Cloud9 on the attacking side, it looks to be like they have no more room to work with, no more ideas on how to actually approach these wonderful defenses that Gen.G is putting out. And it started off on that pistol round in the second half. GMD at the top of the scoreboard, peeking straight out and challenging one of the best players in the game in TENS. And they keep him to 14. They keep him to 24 kills over the entire series, over 2 maps. And Mitch as well over there. This was just well played for Gen.G from start to finish. They had the plan and they executed.
17%. 17% win rate on this map, and when it mattered most, the stats most certainly did not matter. I would like to say, honestly, I predicted it the whole time, guys. I knew this entire time that Gen.G were in a great spot. The numbers didn't matter. I don't know who brought that up, but that person's clearly a moron.
Mr. Alex, 17% Mendez. No, you know what? That breaks my heart, man. You've been doing this for a decade. I've been doing this for 8 years, and none of that mattered at the end of the day. Stats don't matter, and Bala was right at the end of the day. He's been right ever since, and we just were the last ones to get on the Bala train. I'm dumbfounded, but at the end of the day, man, Gen.G takes the victory, hot 2-0. What an improvement, right? All weekend, it's fair to say they did struggle on Ascent, right? The stats at least are there. I know Gen.G did come through in the end, but the point is stats are meant to be improved, and Gen.G did just that. They played incredible. After I saw that offensive round, I actually had to take a double take, if you will, because I was like, wait a second, Gen.G's leading, and they're on offense. They could have a chance to take this map, and they absolutely did, but first, we are going to be talking, or let's break it down. Let's break down the action right now. And Bala, we'll start with you. Given the fact that Gen.G, they've been struggling on Ascent this entire time, what did they do to turn it around to take this victory 2-0?
Again, you guys keep saying that they've been struggling on Ascent, but this is the second time we've seen them play Ascent in this tournament. Maybe they lost the first time, but
17%.
There was a switch for them again. I keep saying that they were prepared in this game. They knew what Cloud9 was going to bring to the table, and then they also bring this comp that many teams have tried to make work. The only one that I've really seen make it work is TSM against T1 in the last the Ignition series that they played, but they lost it the first time they tried. Finally, I see it work for Gen.G, and it was wonderful. The way that they were playing it slow, the way that they had the staying power on the attacking side through short. I mean, I pointed out during the game, but that was basically key for them to stay there and make the plays work from that.
And Alex, so many moments where GMD popped off. He was playing so incredibly well. He really was a star of the show, right? If you had to give it MVP, he is definitely in the running, along there with Win, right? I mean, Win played out of his mind too. The key components for the Gen.G roster, who would you say they are?
Win for sure. He has always been a reliable hand for this team. But in that game, GMD was awesome. The composition also kind of plays a role in this too, because they had more to work with, I think, Gen.G than TSM did. That being said, it really boiled down to Win's just superior holds so many times. Mikhail in defense was just, he was awesome. He had every single nerdy spot with those cyber cages, every single nerdy spot with the tripwires. So if you wanted to get on the B site, good luck. And then that play against Shinobi where he just baited him out completely. He knew exactly what he was going to do the entire time. That was a thing of beauty. There's no one particular player on Gen.G because everyone played their role. And that's going to be what it takes, right? Especially as we go into international competitions eventually. Like if we ever get to that point where we start to see the likes of G2 and the teams in the Asian region starting to join in live events, if we ever get there, you're going to need every single player to pop off. And that's what Gen.G did. And this was a very well-deserved win from them.
Yeah, one thing real quick on Mikhail that you're talking about, his hold on that B sites. Something that Cloud9 did not do was try to adjust to that. He played that spot like 4 times in that second half. No mollies were thrown into it. I understand that it's a difficult spot to try to get that in there. No shock darts, nothing to try to clear that angle. And he was able to play it time and time again, just rely on that one-way cyber cage. So some adjustments from Cloud9 they were kind of missing, but still he did his job and he did it very well.
And the fun thing about Gen.G is the fact that they love the offensive side for whatever reason. Obviously, they didn't have a choice here. It was kind of thrown at them because they didn't have pick whether they want to be defense or offense. Who knows if they would have picked defense. But the fact is, with their tenacity to always choose offense, it seemed to work out for the best. And maybe that's going to be the new meta, right? Gen.G picking that offensive side, becoming comfortable where others are uncomfortable. But either way, that victory over Gen.G, or excuse me, the victory over Cloud9, it speaks volumes, right? Gen.G all weekend long. I mean, we start obviously in group stage, right? Group C. They didn't lose a single match, right? They didn't lose a single match. Cloud9, Triumph, Oxygen Supremacy all fell to the hands of Gen.G. Maybe you call that a fluke, right? But at the end of the day, they were able to repeat that success against Cloud9 in the very finals that we just witnessed. And I do have another update. Obviously, game number third place was being played out, and that was between Sentinels and Together We Are Terrific. And it was, in fact, Sentinels who was able to get that victory with a 2-0, just like Grand Finals. So they are your third place victors. They won on Ascent 13-6 and then Haven 13-4. So without question, Sentinels picked it up despite them being knocked down into loser bracket. But we can't discredit the success from Together We Are Terrific. It's been a long weekend, boys. And Bala, I'll start with you. What was your favorite moment?
I think to be honest, like, I know Cloud9 lost, but I really enjoyed that Cloud9 Together We're Terrific game because they played on a level that I don't think we've necessarily seen. Obviously, they fell in towards the end. This grand finals was fun, but thinking back, actually, there was that 13-12 that Sentinels pulled off against Immortals, which was ridiculous. So that has to be maybe my favorite series. I don't know.
Hey, but hey, we got to talk to the victors, right? We have to talk to the boys on Gen.G. And for Gen.G, we do have Effies who popped off, and it's going to be great to kind of pick his brain and talk to him for a little bit. So, Effies, I pass it over to you. How are you feeling, man?
Pretty good, you know. Just one nice final, nice tournament. We played great all day, nice comeback. So, yeah, feeling pretty good, yeah.
I wish I had hair like you. That's the first thing I'm going to say. I'm very jealous. Effies, your team came out with a bang at T1. You won the tournament. You put a statement out there that Gen.G is here to play, but then things kind of went quiet for a little while. What transpired during that time frame where you guys weren't really picking up the tournament wins? You were getting out of group plays for a lot of these events, but you haven't really been able to put together the wins to get you guys to finals that I know that you guys feel like you were more than capable of achieving. What went on during that time frame between that T1 event till now?
Well, the T1 event was a little bit weird because I think we were one of the first actual teams in Valorant. Like we started practicing, I think, like a few days after the beta came out. So we were probably the most ready team, I feel like, in this tournament. So of course, being the most prepared team, it was kind of not an easy win for sure, but we had like a lot of chances. And then after that, during this time frame, a lot of teams started forming, and people started taking the game a lot more seriously. So it was, and also, since we won the first tournament, a lot of teams were actually watching us, and a lot of people knew how we played. So we kind of had to reinvent ourselves for a few weeks. And I mean, you give people like Wardell, Sabrosa, all the Sentinels roster. I mean, these guys are gamers, so you give them practice, they're gonna be good, right? So, and I mean, not that we have a little less experience than all these guys, so we need to put in extra work to be able to compete with them. But that's what we did. I mean, they caught up for a little while, and I feel like right now we're pretty much head-to-head with them, so it feels pretty good, yeah.
It feels like that prep that you guys talked about starting off in this game has kind of come back, because watching that game, man, it felt like you guys basically knew Cloud9's strat book and just working around it essentially and dominating in your own fashion. So I got to ask about that. The preparation in this looked insane. Was that a key factor, like actually thinking about how Cloud9 plays, or you just guys kind of playing your own game?
Honestly, we are very much against counter-stranding. Like, we don't do any counter-stranding. We don't really watch like how other people play. Like, of course, we know that like Tens loves the judge and stuff like that, so we try and avoid when we know he has he doesn't have an op. We try and really avoid like close corners and stuff like that. And we try to avoid chaos also against, like, we know that Sentinels loves like putting like very chaotic rounds and pushing everywhere. So like we adapt in the big picture, but we don't have like particular counter strat, and we love to just we're so comfortable at like doing our own thing that we don't really feel the need to like counter strat that much. We just like have like a big idea of what the other team loves, and we just play around it. But we don't really counter strat.
So Effies, this event was hugely successful, obviously for Gen.G. And as I look on kind of the scoreboard, if you were the stats, you and your team did not drop a single time. You guys didn't drop a single series, right, against any team, and that includes during the group stages. You beat the likes such as Cloud9 twice, Triumph, Oxygen Supremacy. You also beat Charlotte Phoenix, Sentinels. I got to ask you, because on paper it seems as if that Sentinel matchup in semifinals might have been your toughest series going to map 3, but I pass it to you. Which team gave you the hardest run for your money?
It's no question. The Sentinels is like a super hard matchup for us. I mean, they're in the past tournaments. Last Ignition series, they just beat us pretty badly. We feel like we have a lot of chance against a lot of teams. Like we feel confident going up against any team. But Sentinels were like very rough for us. I don't know if it's their play style or the little respect they show to their opponent, but it's really hard for us. So Sentinels is definitely the team we have the most issues, and that's why we were like super happy to just beat them. And like, and the way we beat them was also like super nice. So yeah, I definitely think Sentinels is like the hardest team for us to play against, but we beat them, and I think the curse is now broken, and I look forward to playing them again, honestly.
Talking about curses for a second, these guys were really low on your Ascent, 17% win rate, and all of a sudden...
I don't know what he's talking about, by the way, Effies, just so you know. I don't know.
Stats don't mean anything, Effies. Stats do not mean anything.
That's what I'm saying.
Taylor, you were on my side. Anyway,
the Ascent was ridiculous in this finals. It was ridiculous. I mean, that's adapting that I've never seen. Is it just that double smoke, no stage setup finally working for you guys, or is there something deeper to this?
It is exactly what you just said, honestly. Even in scrims, even in all the matches, I mean, we are not an Ascent team. But I think after the comeback, after the first map on Bind, we were just feeling super confident. And even if it's not your best map and you're not fully prepared on it, if everybody's hitting shots and comms on point, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Like if you just come out and win you do, it's not a big deal.
Thank you for saying that. That's what I was trying to tell them, man.
You know, I don't know who said that, because there was like this number that 17% was going on. I was like, yeah, 17%. I didn't know. Some crazy person said that, so it wasn't me, Effies. Don't worry about it. I never doubted you guys ever.
I have no doubt that you never doubted, but honestly, we kind of doubted it. We kind of doubted it. So like, you know what, Ascent, we went in like not expecting that, but she said if we lose this one, we'll win Split. It's not a big deal. Split is a great map for us, so we just came in like we were up 1-0 with nothing to lose and just gave it all, and it went pretty well. Yeah.
Final question for me: when Huynh got that collat on Bind to end the game, did he pop off? I just want to know if he popped off. Like, did he go off on comms, or was he just
like Wardell level, or what?
Was it Wardell level, or was he just like, "Hey guys, got a collateral, it's dope"?
Wardell level or Shroud level? Which one was it?
It was in between. When he got the kill, he didn't say anything. It was just like to that bathroom. But when we won the round, it like went up to Wardell level. Like we don't.
Yo, I respect that.
Keeping comms clear.
Yell mid round that much unless it's like a 1v5. I think it was a 1v5, but we still kept calm, and like the round isn't over. I mean, these guys, I mean, you have people like tens on the other, like the number of times we just like the round's over and we just, oh, never mind, just we lost it 5-1, the it's over. So like as long as the round isn't over, we don't really yell and stuff. But yeah, after the round, he was screaming, I can tell you. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Yeah, you played well, Gen.G. Effies, congratulations to you. Last question from me, at least. If you had to give MVP to any one of your teammates, including yourself, I'm not going to discredit you, who would you give it to?
Hands down, GMD. I mean, this guy is coming in. He's like our youngest player. He recently took up the role of IGL, and he's like fragging like crazy. Like if he had like 100 more pounds of muscle, he'd probably be the blame F of Valorant. But he still needs to hit the gym a little bit. But he's on as far as I'm concerned, he's on his way to being like one of the best players in North America for sure, like the most complete one. So yeah, this is a tournament for real.
Awesome. I think, honestly, I think myself and Bala and Golden Boy could actually agree with that. We're talking about his success. Effies, thank you so much for coming on for the interview, and thank you so much for competing alongside Gen.G to give us some great matches.
Thanks you guys for casting it, obviously hosting a great tournament. You guys are doing a fantastic job.
Oh, thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, man. Félicitations. That was awesome. I just gotta say something. Everybody that we've interviewed so far, like I come from the Fortnite scene, these kids don't know how to talk. These guys are so well spoken, man.
Articulate, aren't they?
Let's go.
Bala does not hold back punches. I like Bala more and more. The more I work with him, I'm like, you know what? I like this guy. He doesn't hold back any punches, whether it's against casters, which hopefully in the future he starts holding back a little bit, or it's against other scenes, man. Hey, this guy, he's killing it. It's been a great tournament. It really absolutely has been. Obviously, we have seen some of the best teams. This is one of the biggest Valorant tournaments, right, taking place, featuring some superstar teams in the scene, but also some teams that are unsigned that still had a lot of questions to be answered. And I think we gained a little bit more knowledge, at least from those teams, and just a little bit more knowledge for the NA Valorant scene, at least. But overall, I'm incredibly impressed and happy with how this tournament ran. But obviously, our time is coming to an end. Bala, I leave it to you, as well as Alex after, for your final thoughts.
Look, I'm very excited we saw this tournament because finally Valoranting the podcast from DN Peak has something else to talk about except for TSM winning every stupid tournament. So we get some Gen.G love in there. This is going to be a fun session, fun week of Valorant and fun month. This is going to be good.
Yeah, for sure. So firstly, huge shout out to everyone who came out. I know we were all memeing and having a good time, and I'm good to see at least some people were on their best behavior. So thank you so much, guys. Shout out to all the other casters, and everyone's been putting in a ton of work. I said this before, and I kind of stressed it enough. Events like Pulse and what's going on here are going to be very essential to the growth of Valorant esports, because while the Ignition series is fantastic, and we have PAX East, or sorry, not PAX East, but PAX Arena coming up very soon for North American Valorant, and European events as well as Asian events going on too. Events like Pulse are going to be very essential. So to everyone here who's watching, if you really love Valorant, you get out there, you share what's going on, tell people what's up, go to all the websites like the Spike that have stats, follow these players, give them support, because at the end of the day, while we tell the story, they're the ones that matter the most. And it's just been an absolute pleasure. I love this game. I love this community. And let's just keep this bad boy going.
Keep it going.
Very well said. Very well said. Hey, we got to also give a shout out, one final shout out, if you will, to the sponsors that made all this possible. And we'll start off with Pulse Esports Gaming Arena. Such a magnificent thing that they were able to do with this Pulse Invitational. It was hugely successful. And like I said, 16 of the best teams came in. Only one ended up leaving. And that was, of course, Gen.G on top. Congratulations to them. Check out Pulse Esports Gaming Arena if you're in New York City. Fantastic. 2 viewing levels. If you're a parent, you want to send your children over there to go ahead and compete, or any of your kids, you could do that knowing they're going to be safe. But also on top of that too, if you want to compete yourself, it's a great chance to get in there and play on a main stage, maybe even with some spectators watching. That's an invaluable experience. Of course, I have to shout out the United Way of New York City, helping out New York City families, right, who have been affected by COVID-19. One final shout out to them. If you want to learn more, you can go to unitedwaynyc.org. You can also follow them on all social channels at United Way NYC. Please do, and also get those last-minute donations in to keep helping a fantastic cause. Obviously, AGX Pay mobile app. We also had Esports Futura, all city artists that provided event gear for the Invitational, and they gave away 20% of those proceeds to the United Way of NYC. And then, of course, the AKRacing, who gave away, I want to say 11 chairs, something like that. Absolute insanity. But either way, for myself, Taylor, Reflections Noble, Alex Mendez, Golden Boy, Bala, the rest of the casting staff, and even the production staff that did absolutely amazing this weekend, we appreciate you stopping by, and we hope to see you guys again on our next broadcast.
Gonna leave one player left alive. It's Sub Rosa. He's playing low. Can Sub Rosa clutch it? And he does. What a play there from Sub Rosa. The Brimstone holds it down right on the low ground. Wow.
Stormy seas, oh, you meant the world to me. kiss your head when you cried for me.